Hey guys, Simon from AsusTransform.com with my long overdue review of the Asus Transformer. We've had it for a couple weeks now, so I think I've gathered enough information to give you guys a good thorough review of it. So let's go ahead and talk about it in two separate parts. We'll first discuss the tablet by itself, because I know most people will be interested. You know, sometimes they just want a tablet instead of having a replacement netbook. Now, you guys already know the specs, so I'm not really going to go too much into detail about that. What I'm going to talk about is more of the battery life and the quality of the build and the Honeycomb OS just in general. So let's go ahead and discuss the battery life. I will admit that this thing does get phenomenal battery life. I would say that it surpasses the 9 hours that Asus says that you should expect. Reckon that most of the time it is docked, but I think by itself I get over 9 hours, and I do charge it every night just because I use it that often, so it'll get you through the day and even a little bit more. So I think the battery life is great. Let's talk about the overall design of the tablet. As you know that, well, you might want to ignore this little glossy finish here. I put an invisible shield on it, but you know that at the bottom here the tablet comes with this textured backing, which depending on if you like that kind of thing or not. I personally do like it. I think it provides enough grip. The only reason why I put an invisible shield on it is because I do put it on the table a lot and sliding it around, and this just provides it with more grip. And I had this laying around, so I cut it and made it fit to the tablet. But the textured finish, I do like it. And like I said, it provides enough grip. It's not the prettiest looking thing, but you know what? It's very functional. It doesn't get scratched up as easily. So overall, I think it was a good design choice. Of course, people might think that it looks cheap. I disagree. I just don't think it looks that pretty. The weight of the tablet is pretty good. It's lighter than my iPad 1, which is welcomed. And yeah, overall, it's. I said it could be a little bit lighter, but still, it's not. You can hold it with one hand like this. The weight distribution seems good, but like this, it's a little bit difficult. But definitely manageable. The next thing I want to talk about is the sound. Overall, I think the sound works well. I do get some crackling noise, and I believe that this is a bug. I hopefully think this is just a software issue. If the sound's not playing for a while and then I get a notification, I get some kind of crackling sound. It's kind of similar to when you have like really cheap speakers and you get like popping sounds once in a while. That does happen. Hopefully, again, it's just a software issue, but this is something that is common with this tablet and what I've seen on the forums. So hopefully that's going to be addressed. Now let's go ahead and discuss another thing that's actually kind of something that's been bugging me. It's these edges here that seem to be a little bit too sharp for me, depending on how you hold the tablet. Obviously, if you hold it like this, it's fine. You're not really putting any pressure against the palms of your hand. But most of the time, I'm using a program called Thumb Keyboard, which splits the keyboard in half and keeps them close to your thumb so you can type. I think that what happens is that after using it for a while, you start to get marks on your hands from holding it, and this is due to the fact that the edges are kind of sharp, which I don't understand that design choice, but I guess they weren't thinking of holding it like this for a long period of time. But if I'm sending a long email or something, this is before I had the dock. I mean, obviously now, now that I have the dock, if I have to write a long email, I'll just pop it into the dock. But for people who are looking to just use the tablet as a tablet, you might have some hard times or have some difficulties holding it for a long time, just due to the fact that it's really sharp at the edge here. But that's for people who were using Thumb Keyboard. If you're going to use like the full-size keyboard, then you could just lay it down somewhere and type, and obviously that won't be too big of an issue. So the next thing let's talk about is the screen quality. The screen is beautiful. The colors are very vivid. Just overall very pretty to look at. Unfortunately, I think that it can be a little bit more responsive. Hopefully this will be enhanced with some system updates. If you've seen my first video, which was sort of an initial review and kind of an unboxing, you noticed that I was complaining about the screen not being as responsive when I'm tapping. It's gotten better with the last update, but it still could be a little bit better, especially when comparing it to something like the Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1, which I'll be doing a review, a side-by-side comparison and review hopefully sometime soon. Overall though, it's a gorgeous screen. Could be a little bit more responsive, but overall it's very good. Next, let's go ahead and jump into the Android OS. Now, if you guys have been paying attention to Google I/O and what they've been announcing there, you would know that Honeycomb 3.1 has already hit the Motorola Xoom, and Asus has confirmed that by June we should receive an update to Honeycomb 3.1, which should fix some of the issues that Honeycomb was having. One noticeable thing is that when you're switching from home screen to home screen, you'll notice some lag. This is common even with the Xoom, that that it happens. But again, with the Honeycomb 3.1 update, it seemed to fix that. Honeycomb overall, though, if you just take away the lag, that's really the most the biggest concern at this point, is just a little bit of lag. Especially when you're opening up some of the app drawer, you get a little bit of lag. It's not, the hardware acceleration, I guess, is not properly optimized, but I think with that update it'll be fixed. But again, Honeycomb in general, I think it's a fantastic operating system, very powerful, and it's very intuitive. Menus are, you get the notifications here at the corner, non-intrusive. Just absolutely love the notifications right there. I got two messages on Twitter, so it doesn't get in the way. Quick access to all your settings, just right there. You don't have to go into the settings and whatnot. It's just all right there. Absolutely love that. I do love the way you can switch between applications. In Honeycomb 3.1, you'll be able to kind of flick through all of the applications running in the background rather than just your 5 most recent. So really looking forward to that update. Let's go ahead and show off some of the Honeycomb optimized applications that we have. CNBC made a really good application for checking the news. I've heard great reviews. I haven't actually tested it myself. This would actually be the first time testing it. But you can see that it actually looks very good, and you can probably tell that it's Honeycomb optimized. And Honeycomb applications look fantastic on this, though they're not, they're short in numbers, but they're high in quality. So sometimes it's about the quality, not the quantity. But hopefully you'll see more. Let's bring up one of my favorite apps, which is Plume, that recently got the Honeycomb update, and you can see here that it's fully Honeycomb optimized. You got your 3 panels that can obviously you can change them, and you can show your mentions. You can go to your direct messages or your favorites, and each one just displays differently. Again, fully Honeycomb optimized. Absolutely amazing. One amazing thing that I love about this tablet is that, of course, it has SD card support. Right here is just a memory card for the micro SD card here. HDMI works amazingly. I do it every morning when I do my workouts. I have my videos stored on the tablet. What I do is actually, as I dock it, and then I connect my external hard drive, which we'll get to this in a little bit, and we just play it through HDMI, and it works really good. Let's talk about the cameras. The 1.2 megapixel camera, it's a decent camera. For obviously it's not the best resolution, but for video chatting, I think it's more than adequate. On the back here, as you know, we have the 5 megapixel camera, which shoots very good photos. I'll hopefully post up some photos so you guys can take a look at yourselves and you guys decide. So the next thing I want to discuss is actually the quick charge. It's not really a built-in feature, but the tablet surprisingly charges very quickly, and I really appreciate that. Sometimes when you're on the go real quickly, you don't have that much time to charge. Pop it in for a good hour. Sometimes, and you'll pretty much be full. And I mean, some tablets take longer to charge, so I'm really happy with how fast it charges. I don't have specific numbers or anything like that, but definitely very happy with how fast it charges. So let's go ahead and discuss the tablet and the dock together. So you guys have seen it before. You just take the tablet, dock it in, and that's it. You have kind of a netbook feel. You can see how thick it is there. It's actually a little bit thinner than my MacBook Pro, which is awesome. And you guys know, I'll just run through the connections here. We have a full-size USB plug here. We have the power adapter here with a charge indicator. Charge indicator flashing red like this. It means that it's running out of battery, but not completely dead yet. On the side here we have a full-size memory card. I don't actually have anything so far. I have a 32GB already installed here. This is a 16GB model. Another thing we have here is we have another USB. Let's go ahead and just discuss the two together. There you go. Just gotta make sure that when you pop it in all the way so that the latch moves all the way to the side. And we could just tap OK, and that'll take you to the home screen. So let's go ahead and discuss the keyboard buttons here. As you can see, the top keys are all, they replace the function keys and just put the quick shortcuts, and which is awesome, because here we have like the back button, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. You can turn off the trackpad. I find myself using this a lot because when you're typing on the keyboard, because the trackpad is kind of small, or like the keyboard is really small. It's not too small. I mean, it's almost a full-size keyboard, but you find yourself hitting the trackpad with the palm of your hands, which gets a little frustrating. So when you start typing, you just hit the button and it turns off. It would be nice to see a feature where, like, maybe somebody can develop an app for this, where you just, as soon as you start typing, it turns off and then it turns back on when you stop. I would definitely pay for something like that. We have the brightness control. You can turn off the brightness, turn it up high, and set it on auto. Of course, we have a screenshot button built right in, and there's what's nice about this transformer is that it actually has a built-in screenshot functionality where you just hold a multi-app switcher button and it takes a screenshot, which is nice to see that kind of built in. And we have the button here quickly to get to the browser, which we'll discuss in a little bit. And then we have the button that takes us right to the settings. And then what's nice is I love the play pause button, and if you just actually are not playing anything and you press the play button, it should actually launch up Google Music and the music application and start playing music in the background like you just heard. Of course, you got the back and skip button, which is nice, and the mute, and hiring and lowering the volume, and of course the button to just turn off the screen. Now overall, that I find this keyboard very comfortable in terms of when writing long papers and reviews. Actually, the written portion of this review was written all on the tablet using applications like Polaris, which comes built in, and I find that it's very spacious. It's enough to get the job done. Of course, we have some FN keys here, which is like page up, page down, which do come in handy, and it's very well integrated with the operating system. Not only with the functional keys here, but they also have control copy, control paste that works across multiple applications. We do have a dedicated search button right here that will launch up the Google search. Home button, depending on what screen you're on, takes you back to the home button, and it takes you back to the home screen. So what I love about this is just with 2 fingers you can actually scroll through the pages of the home screen, which is amazing. And let's go ahead and launch up a website. Well, we have one. Let's see. So you can type. I can type pretty well, pretty fast on it. And of course, we'll launch up my website, AsusTransform.com. See, it loads up pretty good, obviously depending on your connection type. And again, 2 fingers will scroll down. If you want to zoom in to something, you just double tap and it zooms in. One thing, and of course you can go left and right, so if you're up here and you want to read what's on the side here, you can do that. Double tap, zoom out, scroll down. Works very well, very well. One thing that I'm just kind of disappointed in seeing is that it doesn't have multi-touch. pinching and zooming, which I think that definitely should have had it. This is more like the older, like my old style MacBook Pro. It didn't have the multi-touch, but it had scrolling up and down. I mean, it's functional, and the pinching and double tapping to zoom, it works really well. So it's not it was not really needed, but it would have been a nice feature. Now, one thing that I absolutely love about the keyboard is that the fact that you can actually charge things from the device. I actually have an HTC Thunderbolt, and I don't actually carry around my charger for my HTC Thunderbolt. I just take the micro, USB cable, pop it in here, plug it up to my Thunderbolt, and it charges it. Does it charge it fast? No, obviously, there's not enough power for it to charge it all the way, but it definitely prevents the Thunderbolt from dying, because we know how bad the Thunderbolt battery problem is. But for the past few days now, I've had it, and I've had the battery down to 15%, and then plugging it in for, I don't know, maybe an hour, hour and a half or something, I'm up to like 49%. Obviously when I'm sitting there just working on my computer, just plug it in and it works really well. Alright, so the next thing I want to discuss is the USB capabilities. Here I have a 250 gigabyte portable hard drive that I have. Just a regular, typical hard drive. Keep it in its case. And here I have a full-size USB. Sometimes you need two to power it, but in this case with the transformer, actually one will be enough. So go ahead and just pop this here. Go ahead and plug it in, and you'll see a little notification at the bottom here. There you go, preparing external hard drive, or preparing external storage. And we have the little icon here. We just click on it, and it'll take you right to the folder. And right now we're seeing everything that's on my portable hard drive. So that works really well. I mean, I love this feature. I use it, like I said, every morning when I do a workout. It works really well. So, and to eject it is really simple. Just click on it. Click on the little eject symbol here. It says you can remove the hard drive safely. Pop it back in and you're good to go. One last thing that I want to mention about it. Asus is actively working on this, pushing out updates periodically. It's more than I can say for companies like Samsung, who just seem to ignore their customers and not update their products at all. So really big props to Asus for really taking the initiative, listening to the consumer, getting updates out there. 3.1 was just announced a few weeks ago, and it's already promised to come out in June. So we're hoping that they stick true to that schedule, and we'll see an update soon. There it is. That's my full review of the Asus transformer. If there's something that you guys want to see specifically, if you have questions, go ahead and send me a message. You can follow me at Twitter, twitter.com/Ayman07. You can check out my website, asustransform.com, for all the latest and updates and news regarding the Asus transformer. Also, also check out our forums, asustransform.com/forum. It's a new forum, so there's not too much activity, but I appreciate if you guys get in there, start conversing. Thanks again for watching my reviews, guys. Hopefully this has been a little bit helpful. If you've been on the fence about buying a transformer, hopefully this will push you in the right direction. Definitely recommend it, highly recommend it. We'll do a comparison with the Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1. Personally, I like this one just because of the functionality with the keyboard, but that's we'll keep that review for another day. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.